Cyclocross magazine here with Gage Hecht at the 2017 Montana Cross Camp. After 4 hard days of workouts and gravel rides and drills, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling a little tired. It's been a hard week of training. I mean, I didn't come into this with much running, so I was definitely sore every morning waking up and getting up to do stairs every morning and then going out for these huge rides out in the mountains. But I had a blast with it. It was a ton of fun getting to work out that way.
And it's not like you just came from home, right? You were on the road for a while?
Yeah, we just did Cascade Classic with a Volo, and so it was kind of trying to recover like in the few days that we had between.
Yeah.
I didn't quite get recovered completely, so I definitely was a little tired coming into this, but I still had a great time despite that.
Awesome. How many camps have you gone to? Montana?
This was my 3rd camp. I went twice during my 15-16 years, and just due to other scenarios in racing, wasn't able to come in my 17-18 years, but I'm really happy to be able to come back and support Jeff's program a little bit and also get something out of it as well.
Yeah. So has it changed much over the years?
You know, it hasn't changed a whole lot. It's got a lot of good stuff going for it. He keeps the structure very similar. I mean, the size has grown quite a bit, and I think that's due to the growing talent in the U.S., which is really cool to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've loved the way it's kind of stayed structured, and the standard has not really changed much.
Is the hope to come back to kind of jumpstart your cross training, or just a refresher on the drills that you need to do?
I think it's a little bit of both, because it definitely, coming here always makes me realize like what I'm lacking that I need to work on before cross season. Like we'll go out and do a turning drill, and I'll realize how crappy I really am right now since I haven't turned in the dirt in 6 months, and I'll be like, and it'll just push me to want to do it more before the season starts. And then like the running piece, like just being exhausted after every run makes you want to run more before the cross season. Make sure you're really ready for that.
You've had some great success on the road this season, and looks like you showed off your climbing legs at the KOM challenge today.
Yeah. So those are just fun things that I think I was really helped out by my fitness this road season, just to be able to have fun competing with the guys on like just a fun little activity that we had during the cross camp.
Do you do a lot of gravel riding in Colorado?
I do. I my dad doesn't like it as much because he always has to work on the bikes after I do it. But I try to keep it clean for him and everything. But it's definitely a good practice, because even when you're on your road bike on road tires, you still get the feel of like a little bit of sliding and everything. And it also adds like an interesting factor to the ride. Like if you go ride straight roads for 5 hours at a time, you get a little sick of them. So it's always fun to get back onto the dirt and play around with that a little bit more.
For sure. Was it a little weird being kind of one of the camp veterans here, now that there's 15, 16-year-olds?
It's a little weird to see how old I've gotten. Like it's hard to realize that I've grown that much from that stage, but it's also kind of cool to see where I've come from and how I've progressed a little bit too.
And now you're one of the mentors, a chance to give back.
I hope I'm giving back. I hope that some of the stuff I've learned here is getting passed down into the next generation.
Seems like Jeff turned to you a lot in the presentations in the evening for your input and your advice.
Yeah, I think just because Lance and I both, he turned us, we had a lot of experience in Europe over the past few years, and it's always good to kind of get the rider's perspective on that sort of thing. And it was fun to get to tell some of the stories that we have and give some of the experiences that we have had over the years.
Awesome. What was the highlight of the camp for you?
The highlight of the camp? I don't know. I just really enjoyed doing those mountain rides, all the gravel and going over the big passes. I think those were my favorite parts. Just going and enjoying the scenery that's out there and having fun with that and playing around in the mountains.
Cool. You've been to this camp 3 times now. Spent a lot of time with Jeff Proctor here in Europe. How would you describe him?
Jeff Proctor? Yeah. He's definitely a very structured guy, and he knows how to get stuff that I don't think a lot of people know how to get. Like just getting the time on the saddle and getting the other aspects of cycling that or cyclocross that I don't think a lot of people really understand or that they need to have. And so he's definitely a good guy to know and use, because he has so many connections and knowledge about the sport that I don't think it's easy to find anywhere else.
Right. What's your biggest goal for this cross season?
You know, I'd like to get the national championship this year. That's definitely going to be a big goal of mine. It's always a big goal to get nationals for me.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a big one. And then I'd like to finish top 10s or top 20 at Worlds this year. Hopefully, negating any other things that happen.
Yeah. Right, so, you know, you've had a lot of success on the road this season, but, you know, cyclocross fans' always biggest fear is that we'll lose our top talent to the road. You know, we've seen it several times, you know, Logan Owen maybe most recently. Any thoughts on, you know, choosing one path, or are you going to keep trying to do both?
I'm definitely going to keep trying to do both as long as I can. I have such a passion for both sports and both disciplines. It definitely becomes a much more of a necessity to choose as we go on. I'm seeing that more and more as I grow. Trying to balance both is getting harder and harder. So eventually I think that decision will have to be made. And I don't know which way it's going to be at this point, but...
Any thoughts of maybe trying a season in Europe for cross?
I'd love to do that eventually. I got to get school out of the way and get that done with, but that'd definitely be a dream of mine to go spend time over there. I always dream of going over for Christmas and have so much fun over there. That's always like the highlight of my cross season, is being over in Europe and getting to ride those courses. And I love being in Belgium, racing with those guys. So that'd be amazing to be able to spend a season over there.
That's great. And speaking of school, you were telling me earlier you already have a post-cycling a plan. What are you studying?
Yeah, so I'm working on being a pilot right now and working towards maybe a commercial job in the industry, which I think would be a blast to be able to have a job like that and fly. I love being in the cockpit, so that's probably the most enticing part of the job, is being able to fly planes.
And you're technically in high school, but taking college classes?
It's a really weird scenario. I went to a school called Colorado Early Colleges, and they're a high school that pays, or that uses their grants from the state to send kids to colleges and get their education there. And I'm still using that program to get me through my current college courses, which has been a big help in my college career.
Awesome. And you're studying aviation. Is that all classroom time so far, or do you already have time in the air?
They're kind of two separate things. Like I go to a lot of classwork at Metro State University, which is the university that supplies a degree. Mm-hmm. But I also try to pair it with some flying as well, and that's through Aspen Flying Club. And I fly quite a bit with them, and I've got, I think, over 30 hours under my belt now, working on cross-country flying. And
as a co-pilot, or?
No, you're in the left seat, captain seat.
Wow.
You got your instructor next to you doing that, and I've had one solo flight yet this far, so I'm working on doing more of those.
So you're flying multiple vehicles now?
Yeah.
Planes and bikes.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.